Now they're here on ITV Yorkshire, the way we were on holiday.
The 1950s and the Hattersleys from Sheffield have left a city renowned for its fire and steel for the Highlands of Scotland and a landscape of frozen slopes and snow. Packed into their tiny Austin A30, the family would jostle between camping gear and homemade skis during the long haul up to the Cairngorms, where the pioneers of British skiing were learning their trade. For the family of four, every spare weekend would be spent on these trips to Scotland, where the early equipment left a lot to be desired.
The equipment was very elementary. I mean, my first pair of skis were government surplus skis, which were heavy, solid hickory, no steel edges or anything like very basic bindings. And all this equipment, plus the camping equipment and a lot of food, had to go in the same vehicle where there were four of us in. So the kids were sat on parcels of food, and the skis would be on the top, and there'd probably be a toboggan as well for the children. So it is quite limiting, really. And of course it was difficult to get to snow. It was quite an expedition. You go up into the Cairngorm and literally you would know everyone. There would be a group from Manchester who were keen skiers, and of course the few from Sheffield. Camp life was great. We used to, in the evenings, sit around and talk and boast about what we'd been doing in the day and what we hoped to do the next day, and that's it. And the kids enjoyed themselves.
The community was so closely knit, they could safely leave all their equipment on the slopes overnight, meaning long hikes with heavy gear were kept to a minimum.
We'd have to carry all this equipment up. Fortunately, in those days, we could leave all our equipment anywhere on the mountainside, and we knew very well that it'd be quite safe. Everyone's in the same mind. The people who make all that effort to go to the mountains, they're not going to be stealing equipment. There was no children's skis around to buy, even if we could afford them. And my first pair of skis for John, as a young boy, were barrel staves. And we sort of drilled holes through and laced him onto his boot, and he just slid around. But then I did build some skis and bent them up, and they worked very well.
For young John Hattersley, time on the nursery slopes and the thrill of his early success sparked an enduring love of the sport.
I was passionate, I think, right from the start. I was hungry for skiing right from the very beginning. It was hard work, climbing up, and if it snowed, I immediately wanted to go skiing. Didn't matter what time it was, where it was. I'd want to ski on the road, at home if we got snow on the road. I just wanted to ski. There weren't many children up there in Scotland at the time, so those of us that were there, I think, were really looked after. All the adults were there, and because we were a novelty, it was important to them as well as to us, really. And it was very noticeable that when you hurt yourself, somebody was there to pick you up and look after you.
Over the coming years, as their techniques improved, John began to take the sport more seriously, representing his country at schoolboy level. and the advent of travel meant the family could eventually afford to experience the
Clothes were different, their equipment was better, and the instruction was good, of course.
And it was an era where even the ski lifts came with a more personal touch.
I remember one lift, it was a single chair lift, only a short lift, and you'd sit on there, and the lift attendant would have put a cloak round you to keep you warm, and as you got off, he'd take the cloak off, hang it onto the chair for the next person to come up. So it was rather Victorian, if you understand what I mean. When France opened up, it was absolutely spectacular. The lift took you high in the mountains, beautiful summits, long runs. As you're skiing down and you do something right, you get this wonderful feeling, really exciting.